At 7 a.m., a plane flies over a city traveling east at 600 miles per hour. At 9 o'clock, another plane flies over the same city traveling north at 350 miles per hour. At what rate are the planes separating at 11 a.m.? So we want to begin by drawing a diagram. And since it looks like we have a plane that's traveling over a city, I'm going to draw the diagram as if this is an aerial view, as if I'm in the air looking down on the city and I can see the path of each plane. So first, I want to make sure that I have my directions correct. So we know that we have north, south, east, and west. So I'm going to draw my city. I'm going to say this is my city right here. And it says at 7 a.m., a plane is flying over this city traveling east. So I can see that at 7 a.m., this plane is going to the right, traveling east. And I'm drawing arrows to indicate that this distance, the distance between the plane and the city, is increasing. So here's my little plane. Thank goodness you don't have to be an artist in this class. And at 9 a.m., another plane flies over the same city, but this plane is traveling north. So this is going to be the path of the second plane. So my second plane's right here. So as we're thinking about the quantities that are changing, hopefully it's fairly obvious that the distance from each plane to the city is changing. So I need to give those distances variable names. Does not matter what letter you use, just be consistent. So I am going to go ahead and let x be the distance between the first plane and the city, and y will be the distance between the second plane and the city. Now, as I read the problem again, and you're going to have to read these several times, you're going to notice that you are given some rates. It says that the first plane is traveling east at 600 miles per hour. So we need to recognize that 600 miles per hour, and if I write the units like this with division, miles per hour, this is a rate. Therefore, this is essentially going to be a derivative. This is the rate at which the first plane is traveling. So I am going to be sure to write this rate off to the side. I'm not going to put it on my diagram because I don't want to get confused between the values on the diagram, which are the distances, and this value, which is actually a rate. But this is the rate at which the first plane is traveling. Therefore, that is the rate at which x is changing. So this would be dx over dt. And then it says the second plane is traveling north at a rate of 350 miles per hour. So that is another rate. So again, I'm putting it off to the side, not on my diagram, but that is the rate at which y is changing. So that would be dy over dt. Then we're asked to find the rate, so we're looking for a derivative, the rate at which the planes are separating at 11 a.m. So at any given moment in time, I could measure the distance between the two planes. So this green line segment represents the distance between the planes, and that distance is also increasing over time. So this is a third quantity that is changing that needs a variable name. I'm going to go ahead and call it z. And this is going to help me write my find statement. So usually I try to write this as find blank when blank, something like that. Sometimes you have to adjust this. This is certainly just a guideline. In this case, if we're looking for the rate at which the planes are separating, then we're looking for the rate at which z is changing. So that would be dz over dt at 11 a.m. So I'm going to erase the word when, and I'm just going to write in at 11 a.m. Find dz over dt at 11 o'clock a.m. And this looks like a good solid setup. So now I want to figure out an equation that relates all of my variables. And I see that I have a right triangle and all three sides of the right triangle are labeled. Therefore, I can use Pythagorean theorem to relate the three sides of the triangle. So that's going to be x squared plus y squared is equal to z squared. Now, I want to take the derivative because I'm looking for dz over dt. And I'm taking the derivative with respect to time. So this is going to be implicit differentiation, where I'm taking the derivative of everything on the left as well as everything on the right, but taking that derivative with respect to time. So the derivative of x squared plus y squared, and then the derivative of z squared. Now let me pause here for a moment because it's worth noting at this point in the problem that we have three unknowns. We have three variables. And sometimes in these problems, you have too many variables and you want to eliminate one of the variables. But in this problem, we actually want to keep all three of the variables. And here's why. We want to keep x in our equation here because we know the rate at which x is changing, dx over dt. We also want to keep y because we know the rate at which y is changing, dy over dt. And we want to keep z because we're looking for dz over dt. So that's why this is a problem where we're going to keep all three of our variables, x, y, and z. We don't need to eliminate a variable. Now on the left side, we have the sum of two individual terms, and we know we can just take the derivative of each term separately. So the derivative of x squared will be 2x, and we'll chain on dx over dt. The derivative of y squared is 2y, and we chain on dy over dt. The derivative of z squared is 2z. We chain on dz over dt. So we just did our implicit differentiation. And now let's go ahead and start to substitute in some of the values that we know. And I'm just going to leave big blank parentheses if it's a value that I don't know. So we now need to think about, at 11 a.m., do I know any of these values? So for example, at 11 a.m., do I know the value of x? Well, not initially. I'm going to have to probably figure that out. But I do know dx over dt. We wrote that that was 600 miles an hour. Then at 11 a.m., I don't have the value for y, but I do know dy over dt is 350. And then I don't know the value of z, but I know that I'm looking for dz over dt. So right now it appears there are some values that we need to find. We need to find the value of x, the value of y, and the value of z specifically at 11 o'clock. Those quantities are changing, so we need to find their value specifically at the time we're being asked. So I'm going to come off to the side here a little bit and think about what's happening at 11 a.m. So let's look at plane one. Plane one, it said, was flying over the city, traveling east at 7 a.m. So if it's going to travel from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., that's going to be a total time of 4 hours. Plane one travels for 4 hours. So we know it's traveling for 4 hours and it's traveling at a rate of 600 miles an hour. Therefore, at 11 a.m., we can be confident that it has traveled a total distance of 2,400 miles. So now let's do the same thing for plane two. So the second plane, the plane that was going north, it left a little bit later. It left at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it travels from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, which is a total time of 2 hours. So if it travels for 2 hours and plane two was traveling at a rate of 350 miles an hour, then we know that it has traveled a total distance of 700 miles by 11 o'clock in the morning. So these are going to give us some actual distances that we can substitute in to our equation. So we know that x was the distance that the first plane had traveled. So at 11 a.m., it has traveled 2,400 miles, and then the second plane has traveled 700 miles, so y is equal to 700. However, we're still missing the value of z at this instant. So if you kind of go back to the original diagram that we drew and think about what this looks like specifically at 11 o'clock in the morning, the first plane has traveled east 2,400 miles. The second plane has traveled north 700 miles. So we need to solve and figure out the distance between these two planes. Obviously, my picture is not drawn to scale. So that's going to be Pythagorean theorem again. 2,400 squared plus 700 squared is equal to z squared. And just be sure that when you're doing your Pythagorean theorem, if you get any decimal answers, leave them in exact form because we don't want to round. We want to round one time at the very end of the problem, but we don't want to round in the middle of the problem. So if you go ahead and add all that together and then square root both sides, this works out pretty nicely because it works out to exactly 2,500. So this is the distance between the planes at 11 o'clock, which I can then take back to my derivative equation and substitute 2,500 in for z. Now go ahead, grab your calculators and simplify everything here on the left side of the equation. So that looks like 3,370,000 is equal to 5,000 times dz over dt. And then divide and solve for dz over dt. So this one works out pretty nicely. We get a nice even 674. However, we want to make sure we have units on this. So this is the rate at which z is changing. Going back to our original diagram, z was the distance between the planes. So z is going to be measured in miles. Therefore, the rate at which z is changing will be measured in miles per hour. And it should make sense that we're getting a positive rate because the planes are moving farther apart, so the distance between them is increasing. So now we can say with certainty that at 11 a.m., the planes are separating at a rate of 674 miles per hour.